Hey MGTOW, how's everybody doing today? Today, in this video, I just wanted to make a quick narration on dealing with stress at work. See, me personally, I work in a male-dominated field. The majority of people that do the type of work that I do are men, because it's difficult, it's dirty, long hours, and it's really an unforgiving industry that I work in. They don't really give a shit about you, and they'll work you to death if they can. And that almost happened to me a few years ago. I had a mild heart attack, and because I was working so much and was going getting maybe 4 hours sleep a night for an extended period of time, and after a while your body just starts breaking down. Like every day as you go through your life, you get little tears in your muscles and your tendons and that, little cracks in your bones, microscopic ones, and your body repairs it while you sleep. Well, if you're not getting enough sleep, those microscopic cracks and tears turn into big cracks and big tears, and can lead to a real bad situation for your health. And that's what happened with me. So like in the office, everywhere I've worked, there's been at least a few women. I've worked at a couple companies that I worked for. In the office, it's been up to half women. And I'll tell you, the ones that work in the office, they're I'll just say it, they're incompetent compared to the guys. Now you ask them a question and it's I don't know, give me a minute, give me 5 minutes, let me call you back. You ask the guys hold on, boom, they get you the answer right away, right? And part of my job is having to depend on the people in the office and having good communication with them so that I can do my job properly. And there's don't get me wrong, there's a lot of competent guys in this too, right? But I've been fortunate that I've worked with some really good guys in this industry that if you got a problem, they take care of it right away so you can keep doing your job. And the place I'm working at now, I just started at, so I'm still feeling it out, seeing who I can go to for answers, or if I need help I can call them so I can get my job done. But the other places I worked, I'm telling you, I never relied on the women unless I had to. There's been one, two maybe that were pretty competent and I could rely on them, but even them, they still fuck you over, because the people in the office, they lie a lot to get you to do the work. And even if the few women that were competent were, you could rely on them basically as much as you could rely on a woman, but they were still not to be trusted, right? There's plenty of times where I told them to leave a message for management or whatever, and they didn't, and I came back and they, something was supposed to be done and it didn't get done, and they were looking at me to do it, and I was like, I'm not doing it, I'm going home, I just got back, right? So, in my industry, there is a lot of stress, and there's a high turnover rate at the companies, because it's a hard job, it's difficult, it's long hours, you're away from home, so it's not easy. And that's why you don't see a lot of women do it. You don't see a lot of people doing it, period, because it's a difficult job, and not everybody's got the guts to do it. right? Plus it's a very dangerous job. You know, people die all the time doing it, and you know, it's okay, like money wise, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's you know, you can pay the bills and save some money, and you know, if you don't mind working alone, which is you know what I do most of the time, not counting the communication with the office and a few other things, it's not that bad of a job. You know, it's not, you know, I could think of a million other things I'd like to do, but you know, it is what it is. Everybody's got to work. You got to be able to take care of yourself. So, and I got into this industry because I had an injury with my back, and I couldn't do what I was doing before. It was construction, and before that, before and after construction, I was I was doing construction, and then welding, and then construction again, and I've done all kinds of construction, you know, commercial, residential, industrial, you name it. And I worked in a bunch of different fields, plumbing, heating, cooling, you know, framing houses, doing cement work. I've done a lot of different things. So, but getting back to the point of the video, see, because I just started at this place, I'm not really saying too much when I go in the office. You know, I say what I got to say so I can get to work and do my job, and that's it. And you know, some of you guys, you're not going to be able to do that, but my advice to you is to say as little as possible at work, because a lot of people, especially nowadays, and there's, you know, you got the women that you know, at your place of employment, and you have the weak men, and all of them are tallying up everything that you're saying so that hopefully they can use it against you one day. And it's really unfortunate that things are like this, but you know, that's unfortunately it's encouraged in this society. So if you were in a battle with somebody and you had a gun and they didn't, would you give them the gun so that they could use it on you? No, that would be stupid, right? So why are you saying things that they can later use against you? You know, the best thing to do, even if they're trying to fuck you over, just keep your mouth shut, do your job, don't complain. Talk to people as little as possible. Focus on your work and try and do it as best you can. And then over time, that establishes a pattern of behavior. So if anybody comes with some fucking ridiculous accusation, the manager or the owner of the company or whoever it is that's above you, supervisor, whatever, is going to say, wait a minute, this guy comes to work every day, he doesn't miss a day, he's always here early, he always, sticks around, works overtime, when whatever we need him to do, barely talks to anybody, his work is fantastic, and now you're saying that he said this or that when the guy barely speaks? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? Because the hashtag #MeToo is already starting to have a backlash against it. I think with NBC, there's no closed door meetings with women. You can't meet with a woman now in private. There has to be a third party there. I think it was NBC anyway. And that's going to go, like a ripple across a pond in the corporate world. And I think it's going to go everywhere, across everything. And they did it to themselves. Now, sometimes they're going to say, fuck it, I don't want to take a chance of the lawsuit. And there's nothing you can do about that. Right? But if you take these steps to keep yourself out of trouble, chances are nothing's going to happen. And try to downplay your looks. don't dress too flashy. Don't don't draw attention to yourself. Try and blend in with the background and go about your life. And if you're working if you're working steady, saving your money, you don't have to stay at that place if it gets bad, right? You could quit. Go on a vacation for 3 months to wherever, where your dollar is worth like $20 or $30 of the place you're going to go vacation. Stay there for 3 months. Figure out what you want to do with your life. Well, you could. There's a lot of things you could do, but the workplace stress will get as bad as you allow it to get. Now there are, I think the word is extenuating circumstances that can contribute and make things really bad, right? But I've found that if you keep to yourself, only speak when you need to, and do the best work that you can, chances are that you'll be left alone. Well, and these women today, they look at 80% of men as undateable. They're not attractive, so they don't want you. So they want the top 20% of men. So let them have them. Let these women go after their so-called Prince Charmings, who are just, if they give them any attention, it's going to be a pump and dump, and that's going to be it. And then those guys are going to take the heat, because they're the ones who are going to get accused. After she's the one who, eagerly jumped in bed and, rode him like a fucking pony. So, you got to think of self-preservation, gentlemen. That's what you have to think about, because if you don't, you're going to end up getting yourself into some trouble, right? So, in closing, don't let the stress at work get to you. Don't bring like any problems you have outside of work. When you walk through the door, you leave them outside, right? And same thing when you go home. Any problems that's going on at work, when you walk out, just forget about them for the meantime. Don't think about them again until you get to work, unless it's something that you really have to, right? I'm generally speaking here. So just keep your mouth shut when you go to work. Don't take a chance to talk, like even with guys. Don't even really talk too much to the other guys, especially if you don't know them that well, because I've had that blow up in my face before. I used to be right before 9/11 happened, about, I don't know, I'd say a month, 2 months before it happened, I got hired at an automotive plant as a supervisor. And this wasn't a small company. This was a huge multinational corporation. And a friend of mine was in management there, and he was pretty high up at that particular plant. And he asked me if I wanted a job and got me in there. And I thought he was going to give me a job on the line, on the assembly line. And when I get in there, I find out I'm being interviewed for the supervisor position. Now, he didn't even ask me about this. So I ended up getting the job, right? I had to jump through a bunch of hoops, but I ended up getting it. And what happened was, when I was in the interview with the woman in HR, she was a little bit older than me. She was tall. She wasn't bad looking, but she wasn't, she wasn't great looking either. But she wasn't like hideous. But she was carrying quite a few extra pounds, right? Not like a blob, but more like an hourglass figure, right? And like she seemed nice, right? And I knew the interview wasn't going well. And so I kind of hit on her a little bit because I wanted the job, since my friend had already set it up. And so I hit on her a little bit, like complimented her and that. Not asked her out, but like complimented on her and said a couple of things. Pull a couple tricks out of my bag from my dancing days, right? And that changed the direction of the interview. And next thing you know, she was smiling and laughing and everything was great and blah, blah, blah. Well, then, after I get the job, somebody was talking to me about her, another supervisor. And I had a girlfriend at the time, that stripper from Europe. And, I was crazy about her. So I was not going to leave her to go for this other woman, right? And her name had come up, and I just, the guy was asking me, and the guy I was talking to, I knew. We used to work at a bar together. But there was another supervisor walking behind us that I didn't see, and he was a two-faced piece of shit. And that motherfucker heard me say about that HR woman. I said, no, she's nice. I said, but she's too big for me. She rivaled me in weight. Okay, like that. Like she wasn't short. She was close to 6 feet tall. So her weighing 200 pounds was still spread out over roughly a 6 foot tall frame. But she was kind of like sloppy fat, and don't get me wrong, if I seen her now, who knows, maybe I'd jump on her, but because I don't mind a big bitch, right? But this guy ran and said something to her, and I don't know what it was that she said. All I did was comment on that, she needed to lose a few pounds, and this guy ran and said something to her, because every time that bitch would see me after that, she would give me if looks would kill, man, fuck, I'd be dead a million times over. Because she would just fucking scowl at me after that. So, and I knew that motherfucker said something, because the next time I saw her, he was with me and he started laughing. So I knew it was him. And then I talked to my friend who was in management, and he said, oh fuck, I forgot to tell you about that guy. You don't trust him. He'll fucking rat on you for sure. So that's another reason why you shouldn't be talking at work. Okay, so protect yourself from the workplace stress, because it can fucking turn around on you. And I told you the steps to take, and you're just gonna have to feel things out, try it out, see how it works, and hopefully nothing happens to you, and you can just go to work every day, do your job, and leave. So, but that's gonna be it for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.